Gallup, New Mexico lies within what was once the territory of the Navajo Indian Nation. On April 6, 1986, this quiet community of 18,000 was rocked.
The oldest missing and murdered Indigenous case being investigated by the FBI here in New Mexico.
By a mysterious disappearance of a 9-year-old girl.
Child taken from her home in Gallup in the late 1980s.
35 years later, the family still believes Anthonette is alive and would return home one day, and the FBI is still looking for clues that may lead to her.
The Albuquerque FBI's division and Gallup police are reminding the public they are still looking for her.
From the mysterious Uncle Joe to the mother's failed lie detector test, let's have a look at the mysterious disappearance of Anthonette Cayedito. Anthonette was a Christmas baby, born December 25, 1976. She was born to mother Penny Cayedito and also had 2 little sisters, Wendy and Sadie. When their parents split, her mom Penny took the 3 children and moved into a duplex in Gallup, New Mexico. Anthonette was described as being level-headed, wise beyond her years, scholastically dedicated, friendly, caring, and dependable. By the time she was 6 years old, she was cooking for her sisters, ironing their clothes for the week, and played a vital role in caring for them. She was known by her peers for her displayed concern for the well-being of others, particularly if they were downcast or otherwise in need. Her youngest sister later described Anthonette as having a caregiver's heart. Her favorite color was purple. She enjoyed listening to the music of Michael Jackson and Ronnie Millsap, and she was nicknamed Squirrel. Anthonette was a super smart child, excelling in school. She was also very good at sports and in gym class, and even won the Presidential Award for Physical Fitness. She attended Lincoln Elementary School and was a well-liked student there. Anthonette was also devout to her church and religion and was known to regularly study her Bible. The family members' lives would be inexplicably changed when her mother woke up one morning to find her eldest daughter was missing. On the night of April 6, 1986, Penny went out and left her 3 young daughters with a babysitter. When she returned at midnight, the girls were sleeping and accounted for. Penny would later go to bed before 3 a.m. Around 3 a.m., there was a knock at the door, a knock that only Anthonette and her sister Wendy had heard. Wendy said that Anthonette went to answer the door and hollered from the inside, "Who's there?" Wendy heard the man answer back, saying he was Uncle Joe. The next set of events are uncertain. Some reports say that Wendy fell back asleep and didn't hear anything else. Other reports say that Wendy heard Anthonette scream, let me go," and was dragged out of the house. No one else in the home heard anything. Per NBC News, although Penny didn't hear the knock, Anthonette did, and she was never seen again. By 7 a.m., Penny was up to take the girls to Bible school and discovered that her daughter was not in her bed or anywhere in the home. Without hesitation, she called the police and reported her missing. The police told her to call back in 8 hours, the required time to report a child missing. This was the first big mistake the police made, and many more were to come. A search for Cayedito led to nothing. What's really interesting is when police did start investigating and looking for Anthonette, they did question an uncle, a man who was married to Penny's sister. It hasn't yet been confirmed if the name was really Joe, and perhaps he was just the only nearby uncle that police had to speak to. However, he was ruled out as a suspect. Searches would continue by family and law enforcement without much to go on. Nothing would happen in Anthonette's case until about a year after her disappearance. In 1987, 1 year after Anthonette's disappearance, a dramatic call for help came into the Gallup police station. A feminine voice on the phone claimed to be Anthonette, stating that she was in Albuquerque. Before she could tell the dispatcher exactly where she was, an unidentified male said to her, "Who said you could use the phone?" The girl screamed and the call ended.
Police department. Hello. I'm Anthonette Cayedito. Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Who said you could use the phone? Hello? Anthonette, where are you? Anthonette? Hello?
When the police played the recording of the call to Penny, she was certain that the voice was Anthonette's. She said she was especially certain based on the way the girl said her name. However, she did not recognize the man's voice. Some have speculated the call to be a hoax. If the girl was in Albuquerque, then why did the phone call go to the Gallup Police Department? The police tried to trace the call, but were unsuccessful. The call gave her family hope that she may still be alive. In 1991, 5 years after Anthonette's disappearance, after age-progressed photographs of Anthonette were released, a waitress came forward, believing that she saw her at her restaurant. She recalled serving a table with a male, a female, and a girl around the age of 14 or 15. She noted that they had rather unkempt appearances, possibly from struggling with her. The girl apparently dropped her utensils on the floor intentionally, and when the waitress tried to pick them up for her, she grabbed her hand. However, she thought nothing of it and went about her business. The male, female, and girl left the restaurant. As the waitress cleared up the table, she noticed a napkin under the girl's plate with the message, "Please help me, call the police." But again, this led to nothing. In desperation, Penny consulted with a traditional Navajo medicine woman for help. Shortly after the Carson City sighting, Penny turned to her Native American heritage in the search for Anthonette. She and her other daughters visited a respected Navajo medicine woman, skilled in performing traditional tribal ceremonies. The medicine woman performed the crystal ritual, which is said to make contact with the spirit of a missing person. According to the medicine woman, Anthonette was still alive and may have a child. She was being held against her will by threats of violence somewhere in the Southwest. Penny was amazed that the information provided by the medicine woman was consistent with elements of the detective's investigation. According to the Albuquerque Journal, Penny died in 1999 without ever knowing what happened to her daughter. Anthonette's sister, Wendy, has said that Anthonette's disappearance tore apart her family and that her mom would never talk about her without crying. Eventually, both mother and daughter turned to alcohol and drugs to cope with the pain. She has since cleaned herself up and moved to California, where she resides with her family. She has been quoted as saying, "If I couldn't find my sister, the least I can do is find myself." Interestingly, it is said that Wendy and her little sister Sadie have been estranged and that the events within the family led to it. No reports go into detail as to why that is. Police have stated that they believe that Penny Cayedito, Anthonette's mother, might have known more than she was saying regarding her disappearance. It is rumored that Penny also failed a polygraph test. This does go against what the family says in describing Penny as completely torn up over losing her daughter. Anthonette's father, Anthony, passed away in 2012. Twice, once in 1992 and once in 1996, remains were found in New Mexico that were believed to be Anthonette. Both times they were ruled out as being her. Anthonette Cayedito was last seen on April 6, 1986. She was wearing a pink nightgown. At the time of her disappearance, she was 9 years old, 4 foot 7 feet tall, and weighed 55 pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes, freckles, and also wore glasses. Her ears were pierced and she had a scar on her lip and one on her knee. She was known to wear a silver chain with a small turquoise cross pendant. Anthonette would now be 44 years old. The FBI has published age progression photos as to what Anthonette might look like today. Police interviewed an uncle who was married to Penny's sister, but declined to name him a suspect. Investigators believe Cayedito may be deceased, although her whereabouts remain unknown as of 2022. Theories range from her being either the victim of homicide or possibly human trafficking. Her mother, Penny, died from a combination of liver cirrhosis and cardiac issues aged 46. In 2016, police stated they believed Penny may have had more information than she had given police concerning her daughter's disappearance, citing a failed lie detector test. What do you think happened to Anthonette? Could she still be alive? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and also subscribe to our channel for your regular dose of whodunits. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.